Hi, I'm Bev Roberts, and I want to talk to you about why liver health is so important. So, the liver actually performs more than 500 functions, some of which are storing blood, creating proteins and fats to create and produce hormones, which are the life source of our bodies, and releasing glucose when we need, producing bile to break down fat, and also detoxifying the blood. And there's a lot of other functions, but those are some of the key ones that I wanted to share today. So we're living in unprecedented times where our exposure to chemicals in our environment is at an all-time high. Think of things like fungicides, pesticides, paint, even chronic exposure to pollution. And all of those contaminants and chemicals end up in the liver, and then they can't be broken down, but get either recirculated or stored as fat. So what we also find is that over time, we see people with a poor gut health, and leaky gut caused by unmanaged food sensitivities and antibiotics and poor overall diet and some other factors leads to the release of pro-inflammatory toxins into the bloodstream that then tax the liver. So can you see everything comes back to the liver? It's the sponge, it sorts everything out in the body. But then we've got the other excesses, so sugar or alcohol. And research indicates that they are as bad as one another. So you may have decided you were going to let go of alcohol, and then you actually substituted with sugar. So not a good idea. They actually both do the same thing. And it can cause what we call non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, or from alcohol, it's alcoholic fatty liver disease. And even if you are not considered overweight, you can have a fatty liver, and it's the silent epidemic. We don't actually know it's actually there until it's quite advanced, and that means that you would need blood tests. Sometimes, obviously, if the liver enlarges, you can feel it from that. But obviously, alcohol and sugar are not your friend. And then we've got the bad oils. So the bad oils is what I would consider to be things like hydrogenated oils, or anything that is toxic in the food manufacturing process. So all the preservatives and additives that get added to the oils too, to make them shelf stable. And anything cooked with canola oil and a lot of vegetable oils is not great for your liver. So what ends up happening over time is they make the bile that's produced, which is normal, healthy, functioning bile, it makes it what I would call sludgy. And so anything that's stored both in the liver and in the gallbladder is sludgy. And if it stagnates for long enough, it can slowly form early gallstones. And that stops the normal working of your gallbladder and your liver and your upper gut. So it's really important not to be exposing yourself to those. But we've spent a lifetime eating these foods, so it didn't happen overnight. So think of things like French fries, crisps, some mayonnaises, margarine, all of those type of things create this bad oil environment in your body. And what's happening is that the poor liver is doing its best to cope. But what we need to do is love it and give it the right foods that support it, remove and eliminate the things that make it feel sad and sick. And what we need then is to replenish it. So what is fascinating is that the liver is the only organ in our body that can regenerate. And so that's why it's really important for you to take really good care of your liver, because, as I mentioned, some of the symptoms are hidden, whereas other symptoms, they can come fairly late in the process. So, for example, 70% of people with gallstones don't know that they have them, yet 80% of people who then get problems from gallstones end up having their gallbladder removed. And that means that you cannot tolerate fat in your diet. And we need good fat in our diet for brain health and also healthy function of other organs in our body. So I hope that makes sense to you. And I'm wondering which one of these resonates with you. Bye for now. And remember, let's live the fab life together.